In a world where emotion was forbidden, she had never known what it meant to be held, to be wanted, to belong. Her people had no word for love, only duty, survival, and silence. But the first time I found her trembling in the ruins, clutching a shattered token of her past, I didn't see a soldier, a captive, or an alien. I saw someone who had never been told she mattered. So I leaned close, heart pounding, and whispered one word, soft, human, and forbidden. And when she repeated it, hesitant, trembling, I saw her world change. The rain fell in thin, silver curtains over the shattered expanse of what once had been a city, streaking the broken glass and twisted steel that jutted from the ground like the bones of a dead world. I moved carefully through the ruins, weapons slung but ready, every echo a reminder of how thin the line between life and death remained even after the war had supposedly ended. My boots sank slightly into the mud where alien blood still mingled with human, and I tried not to think about how many had been lost. Then I saw her. She stood half-hidden beneath the remnants of a collapsed archway, her figure framed by jagged stone and faintly glowing glyphs etched into its surface. Her skin, luminous blue, streaked with grime, shimmered under the dim light of the emergency flares scattered across the area. Long black hair clung damply to her face, concealing eyes that lifted slowly to meet mine. They were wide, large, teal, and shimmering, not with hatred, not with fear, but with a hollow absence of anything at all. She wasn't trembling like most survivors I had found. She wasn't even moving, just standing there, like a statue left behind to remember what was lost. Sergeant Cole spotted her too, raising his weapon reflexively. "Sir, contact," he muttered. "Orders?" I didn't answer immediately. Something in the way she watched us, silent, unblinking, almost curious, made my hand rise in a silent gesture to lower his rifle. "Stand down," I said. "She's not hostile." Cole frowned but obeyed, muttering under his breath about protocols. I stepped closer, boots splashing softly in the mud, careful not to seem aggressive. "Can you understand me?" I asked. She tilted her head, a small motion, subtle but deliberate. Then finally she spoke, her voice soft, low, melodic, but halting, as if forming words was unfamiliar. "No word for this," she whispered. I frowned, glancing at Cole before turning back to her. "For what?" Her lips parted, trembling slightly, but she didn't answer. Instead, she stepped forward, one slow step at a time, until the distance between us was small enough for me to see the fine lines of exhaustion on her face, the faint cracks along her horns from days of wandering the ruins without rest. She stopped just short of touching me, her gaze fixed on my chest, then my eyes, then back again. "What you feel," she murmured. "When you look like that." Her words struck deeper than I expected. I realized then that her people, whatever culture they came from, had never needed the concept we carried so easily. Love. A word so simple, yet so heavy, it carried the weight of entire lifetimes. I swallowed, lowering my voice. "We call it love," I said softly. She blinked, tasting the word silently before whispering it back, broken, uncertain. "Love." Cole shifted uneasily, scanning the area. "Sir, we should move. She's not the only one out here." He was right. Even as we spoke, distant shadows flickered between the wreckage, hinting at others, soldiers, scavengers, maybe worse. I offered her my hand. "Come with us. We'll get you to safety." She hesitated, eyes narrowing slightly, not in distrust, but in confusion, as though no one had ever offered her such a choice. Then she placed her hand in mine, slender, cool to the touch, trembling faintly, and followed as we made our way back toward the extraction point. Halfway there, the ruins came alive. Figures emerged, 3, then 5, then more, alien survivors, armed and wary, their glowing eyes fixed on us. One of them, taller than the rest, stepped forward, armor cracked and scorched. His gaze fell on the girl, then on me. "Human," he growled in a guttural tone, his weapon lowering slightly. "She still breathes." "She's coming with us," I said firmly, keeping my grip steady on my rifle but not raising it. His gaze narrowed further. "You care for her?" The girl turned her head toward me, studying my expression as though waiting to see what I would say. And for the first time since the war began, I realized there was no room for hesitation. "Yes," I said simply. The tall alien stepped aside. His soldiers followed. No words were exchanged, none were needed. They let us pass, fading back into the shadows like ghosts. When we finally reached the landing zone, the evacuation shuttle descended through the mist, its lights casting long shadows over the ruins. Cole went ahead, signaling the medics while I stayed with her. She stood close, closer than before, her teal eyes fixed on me with a quiet intensity. Say again, she whispered, voice trembling. I leaned close, letting the storm of war and silence of loss fade around us. Love, I whispered. That's what it means when you're not alone anymore. She repeated it, slowly, softly, like a prayer, like a promise. And for the first time, she smiled.